All right, guys, we are going into Game 6 of Rain versus Soulkey right now. This is the fourth place match for the KSL, unofficial, played on stream. We're going to be watching it from Rain's point of view. And right now, the score is 3-2 in favor of Rain. Rain has just been killing it in the last couple of games. Insane macro, insane map manipulation. And the most impressive thing is whenever he attacks, he expands. And that's really where all of his advantages come from. Being able to attack your opponent and expand at the same time makes such a huge difference and allows him to just continually get ahead over and over and over. So it's been quite a series so far, plenty to talk about. We're going to be playing this map on Circuit Breaker. It is, along with Fighting Spirit, it is the most standard map in the map pool. This one's been played pretty much forever and has been especially popular in the last 3 or 4 years in place of Fighting Spirit, known universally as the quote-unquote most balanced map. In this particular matchup, I would definitely say that it's a little bit more Zerg favored. The big wide open center allows you to get lots of big surrounds on the Protoss army and kind of prevent your opponent from doing anything in particular. So it can be very frustrating for the Protoss player. Again, we're going to see the overpool coming out from Soulkey. Not surprised at all to see that. We're doing a little bit of cute micro, just trying to prevent this drone from mining as long as possible. Considering that you're already scouting with this drone, being able to pull a drone off of minerals and forcing it to fight is actually a pretty huge advantage. It makes a pretty big difference in the long run. So from here, we're going to see Rain just go ahead and probably play a little bit greedy, go for that next first that he's been a little bit more of a fan of recently. Oh, I take that back. I just saw him place the Forge. Never mind, he's going to be going Forge, but he may decide to go Nexus before the cannon, yeah. And he has a good visual on these eggs, so he's going to know how many lings are popping out. Easy peasy. A little bit attacking the egg, it does a little bit of damage to whatever pops out, so it can make it a little bit easier to kill it off a little bit later on. Blocking the lings a little bit, just so they can't get across the map. Those of you that play MOBAs, it's very akin to body blocking. Just stand in front of your opponent so they can't actually go anywhere. How to be obnoxious, hashtag. Lings coming across the map, but looks like the probe block was strong enough to prevent these from actually getting in. Oh, he's actually going to go for the run by anyway. Is he going to be able to get one into the main base? Going to be able to get one, maybe? Yeah, it looks like he got one ling into the main base, so a little bit annoying, but we saw Rain deal with this, I think, in game 1, and he did actually a quite good job at it. Just pulling probes wherever needed. And overall, just solid defense. It's one of those things that takes a lot more attention away from what you're doing, so it can be a little bit distracting, but as a pro player, Rain he has all the AP in the world to actually deal with this. It's really impressive. So third base gonna be at the mineral only for Soulkey. This is actually very interesting to watch. I always talk about this, especially in this map, whenever I talk about the third place placement of Zerg. It's actually very, very important, very influential, is when you see that third base at the mineral only, it means a certain thing versus taking out of the natural of another base. Because when you take it at this mineral only, it implies you're going to have a ton of pressure on you as the Protoss player. You know that your opponent's going to be going a little bit Hydra heavy and trying to take the center of the map before taking the fourth base, probably in the 6 o'clock position. Whereas if your Zerg opponent decides to take a base at another natural, they're definitely going to be playing a lot more passively. They're going to be chilling out, just making lots of lurkers, going to take that free fourth base off the back of that natural in the main, and just cause a lot of problems for you as a player. But in this case, we'll have to see what Soulkey does. Soulkey has been playing very aggressively this series so far, so it'll be interesting to see what he decides to do. 2 Zealots coming out here. This can actually fight these lings and win, like, convincingly, so Soulkey's actually gonna have to make another set of lings or two. Actually, probably maybe 3 sets of lings to deal with this. A lot of damage coming out from this. Gonna try to pick off the probe for free, but not gonna happen. The reason why you bring the probe along is because at this point in the game, 2 zealot shots will almost kill a ling, and then if you have the probe, it gets a little bit extra damage, so it's a free kill on the ling. 1 shot, easy peasy. Is he gonna lose that probe? Yeah, he lost that probe to the ling. Unfortunate. He wasn't responding quick enough. Looks like the push at the third base did get cleaned up, but not going to be the end of the world because he did force out a lot of lings from Soulkey. It's going to delay these third bases, and he actually, I think, got 2 drones altogether, so a lot of pressure coming down from Rain early on. We didn't see this in the first game. He played a lot more passively with the Zealots, and we've been noticing that over the course of this series, he's been playing a lot more aggressively with these Zealots, and I think it's having an effect on Soulkey. Soulkey, who's already pretty far behind, he's just kind of overreacting to these, kind of trying to play ultra safe, especially since he's in the hot seat. This could be his very last game in the series, so he's playing very safe. First Corsair comes out, going to be doing some early damage, but I think at this point, Rain is feeling pretty safe. As long as he's got a full wall at his natural, he's gonna be fine. Oh, speaking of, whew, those lings almost ran by. That would have been problematic. You see, he actually still has a hole in the bottom of his wall, but because there's 2 cannons there, and because it goes over to the mineral line, it's not a huge deal for him right now. If a couple lings do kind of circle around and get behind the mineral line, they can't really do a whole lot, and they can't run into the main at this point in time because the cannon would just kill them. So they're kind of just stuck there. They don't do much damage. So I like that Rain accurately sees that he just needs to block off the top of that ramp. It's actually pretty cool. Templar Archives out. We're going to be seeing those Dark Templar coming in pretty soon. But again, keeping up this pressure with the Zealots. He does not stop right now. He's actually just going to run them straight into the main. This is a little bit crazy. Looks like he's trying to limit the number of units that his opponent has, ground units, for something. I'm not sure. This is very unusual play coming out from Rain. Very, very aggressive play. But I guess at this point, you're so far ahead in the series, you feel like you can get away with a little bit of risk. Worst case scenario, you play a little bit overly aggressive in this game, and then you just peel it back for the next game. I think that he adds out a couple more cannons, knowing that he's just going to be defending with that Dark Templar pressure for a little while until he can get a lot more units out. Adding on the extra cannons is a little bit safe. You end up doing the opposite of cutting corners. I don't really know what the word for that is, but it's the opposite of cutting corners, where you just play overly safe and get yourself a little bit far behind. But that's exactly how Rain likes to play, so not much of a problem for him. Very nice sniping the Overlord right away. Gonna be able to come in here with this DT and start doing a little bit of damage. Ideally, if you can kill off the larva, that's actually really, really nice. So he's gonna actually just focus down the eggs, which is a little bit interesting. But I'm pretty sure it's a 1 shot on the larva, which can be very, very strong. Vulture is also really, really good at killing larva, so if you ever get into a Zerg base and there's not a whole bunch of drones to kill, just kill off the larva with those vultures. Makes a huge difference because that is a pretty important resource for the Zerg player. Gonna go ahead and take his third base already. Feeling pretty comfortable right now with this DT pressure, knowing where his opponent is, and he's, oh my gosh, he's gonna be able to pick off another Overlord. This is a nightmare for Soulkey. Losing 2 Overlords and tons of drones early on. His saturation just is nowhere where it needs to be, and with Rain now taking his third base, it can definitely feel a little bit oppressive as the Zerg player right now. Soulkey looks like he's definitely drawing a, he's going across midline, just trying to get as many drones out as possible, as well as attacking units while he's getting that 4th base up. So, not going to be going overly aggressive this game, not going to be going full economic, just going to be playing right down the middle. Ooh, one of the Corsairs does get picked off, so that sacrifice of the Scourge was actually well worth it. But losing another Overlord is brutal at this point in time. And it's going to be, oh my gosh, it's going to be the DT High Templar 2 Zealot drop. This has become more and more common as of recent. It used to just be either you just do a couple of Zealots and a DT, or you do a couple of Zealots and a High Templar, but this is actually such a cool way to play it. And it's actually being held off right now. Soulkey actually, wow, Soulkey with just the smart positioning, having units in the right places at the right times, gonna be able to actually cancel that third base right now. Rain's got to put down a couple more gateways and run these Zealots back to defend. That could have actually been the attack that Rain was setting up. Would have been potentially devastating, game ending, but just such smart play from Soulkey prevents him from doing this. And this is actually, suddenly everything has been turned on its head. This is looking very, very bad for Rain right now, but he's gonna go straight into the main. Gonna probably drop off a DT over there on the ramp to just kind of annoy those units while he looks for the big storm on the drones, but it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. He's gonna try the storm over the side, but I honestly don't think that did a lot of damage. Didn't look like there were a ton of drones over there, and he loses his third base yet again. This is suddenly devastating for Rain. Rain went for a bit of a gamble here. He was being overly aggressive, but he's kind of given Soulkey a chance to get back into this game by losing this third base twice. Trying to get overly aggressive with that drop. And it's starting to catch up with him. Soulkey's got that fourth base down. He's got the 3 gases he needs. He's probably going to be able to start even a 5th base pretty soon. He's got tons of units coming down, and they're going to be able to snipe off a couple of these. Oh, does he get the second? Oh, he doesn't quite get the second High Templar. But still, being able to snipe off one of those High Templars, waste the storm, makes it a lot easier for the follow-up pressure. But there are a lot of gateways from Rain at this point. Rain's going to be able to pump a lot of units and eventually get this third base up. But the main problem is that Soulkey has actually been allowed to get ahead in the economy. Soulkey doesn't really need to even attack here. He can just sit out here in the middle of the map, do a gigantic concave. There's not really a whole lot that Rain can do about this. This is such a beautiful concave right here. There's not much that can actually be done, and more reinforcements coming in right now. As long as Soulkey splits against the storms, he's going to be in good shape. Killed off all of the Zealots, going to be able to just run straight in here, get on top of the Protoss army, and this might actually just be GG right here. Going to be able to kill off the rest of his units, and he's going to be able to cancel this third base again. Oh my gosh, absolutely devastating for Rain right now. He's got a DT in there. Hopefully, maybe there isn't an Overlord here. He can snipe a couple of these Hydralisks for free, at least force the backup until he's got a couple more cannons. But oh my gosh, the play from Soulkey has been so beautiful. The macro overwhelming, gonna be able to push all these units back. The cannons get canceled again, and he's gonna be on top of this 4th base, cancel it yet again. That's the GG. Well played by Soulkey. We're going to a game 7 ace match. Holy crap.